What's going on, guys? Once again, got another project in the shop. This is a 2005 Chevy Colorado. This thing had the engine replaced, and it's got a GM crate engine in it, which only has 28,000 miles, and it is missing like crazy. Story goes with it, he was driving it back to the shop and it just started missing. So we put the scanner on it and it said random misfire. So we went ahead and got coil packs, and we got all new plugs. So we started with the plugs and we put the plugs in it, and that didn't solve it. It started saying misfire on number 4. It is real smoky in here. And so we went ahead and replaced the coil pack, and it still said misfire on number 4. So I think he did a compression test on it, and he said number 4 cylinder has no compression. As you can see, it's smoking like a crop dust. I'm gonna turn it off, but it's smoking bad. Woo! Check engine lights on. Now that we cut off the smoke bandit, yeah, so did a compression test. He said it didn't have any compression on number 4 cylinder. So I'm going to recheck it just to be sure. Like I said, this engine's got 28,000 miles on it. He replaced it about 2 years ago. It is a 5-speed. So it has the 5-speed stick shifter. So in the meantime, he just went ahead and bought another engine. Now this engine here, it has supposedly 130,000 miles on it, and he didn't want to waste any time. I think the warranty is out on this motor. He might have got it 3 years ago, I think, but the motor has no warranty, which is funny with the dealership. You buy it from them. So he didn't want to fool with tearing this one apart and taking the head off of it and finding out that it's got bad cylinder wall, which is smoking so bad it's probably got a hurt cylinder anyway. So he just said, screw it, let's just stick another engine in it. So I'm going to do another compression test on it anyway before I pull it out. And I really hate to pull out an engine that has just 28,000 miles on it, but you know, what do you do? I mean, either way it's got to come out to rebuild. I mean, unless you just take the oil pan off of it and take the head off of it and slide that piston out of there. But if the cylinder's hurt, it's going to have to be bored. So we're going to go with another engine, which this one is sold complete. It has the fan and everything still on it. Came out of a running truck. So it's even got all the coil packs in it. So anyway, it's going to be another project for the shop. 05 Chevy Colorado quarter cab. First he was going to junk this truck. He was actually going to scrap it, and I said, well, no, don't do that. They ain't gonna give you much for it, so just put another motor in it. I mean, the body's not hurt at all, so why scrap a pretty decent truck? So anyway, so that's the story on that. So we're going to tear into it and Try and get this thing back on the road and moving with all 4 cylinders instead of 3. Alright, so we're going to run a compression test on this old Vortec 2.8 4-cylinder. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Since I got to break it down, I'm going to go ahead and take the air cleaner out so it can be out of the way. Got 3 bolts and a nut. That other one is like super way down in there. So we need to get an extension. It's kind of cold today, folks. I think it's around 45-ish, kind of chilly. So the heater might be kicking on during this. So I'll try and speak loud and clear. But I gotta keep warm. So basically what I'm gonna do, just gonna run a compression test one more time. And I'm thinking about when I get the engine out, we will take the head off of it, see what happened. Now he said he did a compression test and it wasn't showing no compression on number 4, which I believe is at the back. Which the engine wasn't dogged or anything. Don't really pull a lot of stuff with it, like trailers. So it really don't make any sense why it would lose compression. So as you can see, we already had installed the new coil packs. They're brand new. So that was like the beginning of the problem. Because we thought maybe it had bad coil patch because it said random misfire, and then it said number 4 misfire. So we eliminated the easiest thing, which was coil packs, and I believe he put some spark plugs in it. Like I was there when he changed the coil pack and the spark plug, but I wasn't there when he did the compression test. So let me get that spark plug out. It has to be either a head issue or a cylinder issue, but still at 28,000 miles shouldn't have went down. And yes, it was bought 3 years ago. Actually, this month makes 3 years. So what kind of time limit you get on a remanufactured engine these days. Let's get the plug out of there. Let's see it there. There's the plug. Let's take a look at it. Brand new AC Delco. So you can see it's wet, so I guess that's fuel. Yeah, it smells like gas. So that cylinder is not burning. So let's get our compression tester. And I'm going to have to pull, oh, we'll just unhook all the coil packs so it won't crank up. Hopefully these screws right down in there. Yes. Make sure it's tight. I wonder if I do it like that. Alright, so I'm just going to unhook all the other coil packs so this thing won't fire up. And we will, I think what else I'm going to do, you're supposed to have the throttle wide open, which just has the electronic throttle body. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to just take the throttle body off, and that way wide open. Exactly what it's saying. Nothing. put it in there a little tighter. I'm gonna try it. Up a tad bit. I hit the button, it's like, so that cylinder don't have any compression at all. I mean, it's nothing. So let's try a trick. Now I don't know if he tried it. Let's try and put some transmission fluid in there, and let's see, will that bring up anything? And that will tell us if our rings are strong, because what it does, the transmission fluid will go around the rings, and that'll tell us a little bit about our cylinder. So I'm gonna get some little transmission fluid. We'll pour that off in there. I got some. Just a little bit. All right. Get the screw back in there. Let's just see, will it build up any now? Can't see. We didn't get nothing still. It went up just a smidget of a, I mean, it didn't even get all the way up to 30. So there's definitely something wrong with that cylinder. It's not pumping up. I don't know if I can see it in there. Plus the battery's weak. But it's definitely something wrong with that cylinder. I'm guessing the rings collapsed or something, but for 28,000 miles that shouldn't have happened. And I'm pretty sure he was keeping up with the oil changes. Said he was just driving it and just went to missing, and the check engine light came on. So next step is to pull it out. We'll get it out, and then we'll take the head off of it and take a look at those at that cylinder, see if there's any scratches or stuff like that. I mean, I can stick a camera down in there, but now I got all the transmission fluid in there. I will have to blow all that out. I mean, the engine's got to come out anyway, so I'd rather just pull it out, then we'll break it down and we'll see what's up with it. Alright, I started unhooking stuff. I figured I'd start on this side because it's tight. I got the alternator unplugged, which is right here, and there's a positive wire that goes to the side of it. Down there's a knock sensor right there where you see that bolt sticking out. You can unplug it. It has a plug going to it. It's so tight over here. This plug right here goes to, it's like a evaporator sensor thingy up under the intake. I'll show you on the other motor. That unplugs. This little plastic tube right here is part of the emission system. It's kind of caught up in there. I think they replaced it when they did the last motor. This little plastic tube right here, it has a sticker on it. Good thing the heater cut off. This little plastic tube, it snaps onto a metal tube. It's for the emission system. It has a little green cap on it, and it has a special little flip connector thing. You just move the little arm that's on it, you just twist it, and it pops off this metal pipe right here. There's a metal pipe. Oh man, it's so far down in there. Try and get you in close. There's a metal pipe right below that wire harness that runs across. You can see it. It's that little pipe right there. That's where that thing goes. Then of course, sorry, your starter is up under there, which is just two wires, small one and a big one. Then there's a ground cable over here going to the engine. You can probably see it a little bit. Try to get focused in. It's a ground cable right there. It just bolts to the engine. You undo that. That's pretty much everything on this side, except for over here. There's this harness that runs up back here. That's where your injector, just that one plug. I think that's for, no, that's for your coil pack harness. You can either take the, unplug it there and just fold that harness back out of the way. You can see it right there running up. And somewhere there is an ejector harness. This plug right here goes to the injectors on the fuel rail. I gotta find it. And let's see back here. Looks like they about, that's that little green tube looking thing, and it's going up to that sensor up on there. There's your knock sensor. They cut the ground cable, which you can see is cut. And they just removed the whole harness from the coil packs. It runs straight across. Then over here you got, look like a cam sensor right here. There's what the VVT solenoid. And then there's an oil sensor all the way at the bottom up under the oil filter housing. You kind of see it sticking down. That needs to come unplugged. And I think that's basically it. So I'm gonna keep working away in here. It's just so tight. I thought about just pulling the whole harness off with the motor. Just disconnect the computer over there and disconnect the fuse box. Unplug that harness, because that harness goes along, V's off to down there, and goes across the valve cover and over to everything on that side. I thought about just disconnecting it and just pull the harness with the motor, but I believe I'm just gonna leave that alone. So then you got your fuel lines here that bolts to the side of the intake, and they go down to the side of the block down there. I'll show you when I get there. But I'm gonna keep plugging away and hooking this stuff. Got your vacuum booster line needs to come off. This harness here, whatever this sensor is, it's like a map sensor. That's got to get unplugged. And disconnect this here. It's not a lot of stuff on this motor. The good thing is this is a 5-speed, so we ain't got to worry about transmission lines and transmission fluid rolling out everywhere. Anyway, let me finish unhooking all that. Alright, moving right along. I got the wire harness unhooked. Just got it laid over here. So this goes across the engine and plugs to the computer over there behind the reservoir bottle. So you can loosen that bottle up. It's got a bolt that holds it here. There's a little cross bracket there. You don't have to take it. There's a 12mm on the other side. You just kind of lift it up, and you can unplug these plugs that goes to the computer back here. So right now, everything on the engine top side is unplugged. The wire harness is laying over that way. So now we just got to get the shroud off and get this fan off, which it's on, screwed onto the water pump. So that's going to take some big wrenches, and going to take a hammer to get that thing off of there, because like on this engine here, I guess they didn't have the tools to get it off, so they just left it on there. So they probably cut the whole front of the truck in half, and was able to just leave it on the engine and just pull it straight out. But this is a 2-piece shroud. It has some little clips that you can take loose, and you can take just the top half off, which is good. And you can get over in there and hit that fan to screw it off the water pump. Now the radiator don't have a drain screw. I looked on it, so I had to just pull the bottom radiator hose off with a oil pan up under there to catch all the antifreeze. So I don't know why they didn't put a drain screw on the radiator. That's weird. But yeah, on its radiator shroud, like I say, it's a 2-piece. So the only thing we have to do is just take those clips loose that's down in there, and we should be able just to pull the top half off now that I have the top radiator hose gone. And that'll get us closer to the fan. Try to get some light in here. A little light anyway. So I'm going to grab a flathead pop these little clips off. Try not to lose them. They're just some little metal clips. Maybe we can get the top part of the straddle. Well, I knew that one was going to fly somewhere. We'll find it. Not too far. That one went too far. As long as you hear that ping on the ground, that means that it's there. And that one disappeared. This one's probably going to fall off in the oil pan. Just can't. One more. The hardest one to get to. So this top piece should just come apart. Inside there. Got like a locking ring or something in there. Never seen that before. What is that? Some kind of... Huh. It's got like a lock that holds it, spin it and it holds it together. Never seen that before. Move the air conditioning line. There's the top half. It has this locking ring. You turn it and it locks the shroud together along with the clips. That is unreal. But, so now we're right at the fan. Just got to get a big wrench. I don't have the tool you use to get that thing loose. There's a special wrench. But I do got a hammer and I do got a big wrench. Hopefully I got that wrench in here. See where this fit. Nope, too small. Nope. We're gonna have to go round up a wrench. So let me get a wrench and then we'll get it off. Alright, I found the closest wrench I can possibly find to take that off. Just pop right off. This one don't want to. I can pry against it like that. And smack my hand. She don't want to budge. There she goes. So what I did is put this pry bar right between the crank pulley and the bottom side of the water pump pulley. I left the belt on there. Gave it some good smacks, as you see. Come right on off. Who needs to go rent a tool? There's the fan. Clean it off. So now we're down. This just picks up. Yeah, let's just drop sand all in. antifreeze, which we ain't gonna use anyway. So now we are right down to the front. So we gotta get the compressor off. We gotta get the alternator off. We gotta get the power steering pump off. Yeah, so I'm gonna move this antifreeze so I won't be dropping tools in it like I just did. So we're gonna get that belt off of there, and that requires a 1/2" ratchet. I think that's a 1/2". Let's get some of this oil out, just cool it. Another 1/2". Nope, it's 3/8. Got plenty of room to work. Push down on that tensioner. And there goes the belt. And the cool thing is, that belt's got a nick in it. You can put the belt on without the fan on. There's the belt. Goodbye belt. Now, we gotta get the power steering pump loose. That requires probably some 1/2 inches. We probably can just lay it over to the side. I really don't want to take that off completely and have power steering fluid everywhere. So hopefully we can get by just laying it down to the front maybe, and don't make a big mess, which I already have. So let's get some tools. That bolt is tight. It's at a weird angle. Let's get an extension. Loosen the nuts off. It's got all this grease on screws. Oh. We gotta get that power steering pump right off of there. Get a rag, wipe my hand. one more bolt. Basically, all these GM pumps are same. I put these on a lot of different makes and models. What that was? The ratchet. Glad it wasn't my underpowered impact. One more bolt. And the power steering pump is loose. Just kind of set it to the side. So that's off. So next step is going to be getting the alternator off and getting the compressor off. And we'll be good to go. So I'm going to take a quick break and we will get that off. Now we got the compressor off, the alternator off. I had to remove this top bracket right here. This actually is the bracket that you hook the chain to when you're going to pull the engine out. It bolted right here, so I just removed it to get the alternator out. And 3 volts holds the compressor in on the side. You can get them from the top. So now we are at the bottom. Show you what I got going on. I didn't know that the starter bolts, actually you can't see the starters right behind those 3 lines. The starter bolts face towards the front of the truck, not from behind the bell housing. The only thing faces the rear of the truck is all these bell housing bolts. So you got one here, you got one there, one there. There's one right here where my finger's pointing, right there. And you got one way up there where that, you can kind of see that hose up there with the green on it. You got one up there. You got one here, one there, one there, one there, and at the same all the way up there. Now I did notice it has a leak, and that quick connect hose right there, it's got to be addressed. They got a hose clamp on the other one. The exhaust is fairly easy. It's 3 look like 15mm nuts. Exhaust pipe slides right off. The only thing on the wire harness you got left, it's right here. You got a couple ground wires that bolts to the side of the block right there. So those are 14s, and they got a zip tie on that one. So you get that loose. That's actually your air conditioning plug to your compressor. You get that loose, you're free there. Get these 2 grounding wires loose. And I'm about to let it back down and go up there and get the starter bolts out because they face towards the front. And that's basically it. I'll do the fuel line, which that's on the bracket here. And you can undo the fuel line from your fuel rail and just let it hang there. Basically, that's pretty much it. You can get ready to wiggle it out. Now this is a stick shift, so when I get ready to go back in, I'm gonna have to align the pilot shaft up, you know, through the clutch and all that stuff. So Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work getting that stuff loose and get it out. Okay, back to this engine removal. What I came up with is you're gonna have to take these motor mounts off on each side of the block because this is a stick shift. The engine's got to come straight out from the transmission due to the pallet shaft. So instead of trying to jack the engine up super high to get it to go over these frame mounts, which is welded to the frame, I'm gonna have to take the engine mounts off. So I've already removed the two top bolts. It's 4 bolts. You got 2 there and 2 at the bottom. And I've already got the big bolt that goes through the mount removed on one side. And I'm gonna have to go to the other side and do the same thing, which that bolt on the mount faces back towards the back of the truck, so I'm gonna go up under the bottom and do that. I have removed the starter, which is right here. Just 2 bolts. Well, it's actually a nut and a bolt. And to do that, I had to remove this little valve here, which bolts on the side of the block. It blocks the top starter bolt. It's just a 10 millimeter where's it? A 10 millimeter nut, bolt. You can probably see it, and comes right off, and you can get a long extension with a, I think it's a 15 millimeter, I believe, socket, and you have to go all the way back up in there. You can probably see. You can see the hole of the start where the starter goes in. You can probably see the flywheel back up in there. You pull the starter out, and so what I'm going to do is go ahead and hook the cherry picker to it and have it hold the engine, just kind of jack up on it so I can remove those mounts. And then I got 2 of the top bell housing bolts still in. I got to remove those and remove those hoses for the coolant lines. I just didn't want coolant and gas running down in my face. So I'm gonna go put the cherry picker on it, get it up in the air a little bit, and then I'll go up under there and remove those other bolts. And we should be able to just come straight out and straight up. So I'm going to get everything set up, and then we'll snatch it on out. Alright, so I got the cherry picker holding the engine, and I got the truck off the ground. So the deal of it is I had to put some lifting on the engine while I take the engine mounts loose from the block, because it's easier just to pull it out with no mounts. So these mounts are just loose from the engine, and the engine is just hanging here on the cherry picker with the transmission still attached. I just got a couple of bell housing bolts left to detach it. Then we'll come up here and unhook our fuel line and coolant lines. This thing has got 1,000,000 bolts on the bell housing. I don't know why you would need all those bolts. It's got like 15 of them, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12 bell housing bolts, if I'm not mistaken. But I got a couple of them just holding in, like this one. And then I got that one way at the top. But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have you a real long extension, 1/2 inch drive, and a 15mm socket with a swivel to get those top ones. I think I only got that one right there, and I think it's just the one way at the top. I don't think it's another one. It's just that one way at the top up there, which it feels like someone it had a nut on it. Or maybe that's something else. I can't really tell. Well, I feel there's a bolt there, but there's also something sticking out. I don't know if that's a stud. It don't have a nut on it or anything. It's way up there though. Hopefully it's not facing where the starter goes in at, but I don't think it is. Let's go look at the other one. Well, actually, this is what I'm feeling right here. It's actually the stud for the starter is what it is, because the starter has a stud and a bolt, so that's good. So let's just count on here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, I say. Maybe I missed, I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get those other bolts out, and we should be ready to shimmy it on out of there. Well, that top bell housing bolt on the driver's side is real hard to use. But if you can get this truck high enough, you can see it from back here. You can get you a long extension like that, a couple extensions, and if you look on top of the transmission, let me move this out the way. You can see that bolt. Try and zoom in on it. It's gonna be kind of hard. You can see that bolt, and there's a coolant pipe with a clamp on it. That's also that bolt goes through. If you got a long enough extension, you can go over the top of the transmission and go right to it. This side over here wasn't so bad. I did it from the side, but I don't know if you can see it way up there. Trying to get you. It's kind of hard to focus on it. But you can probably see that clamp. That looks like there's a bolt missing. That's the other side. But I was able to get it from the side with a swivel, and it worked out pretty good. So I just got that one bolt there, and I think that's it for this side, and then we'll be ready. I just wanted to show you that you can get them top bolts. If you can get this truck high enough, you can go all the way up there with a long extension on both sides, and I won't have to use a swivel on this side, but just trying to help you out a little bit. Okay, this might be a sketchy one here. So I completely got all the bell housing bolts loose, the motor mounts loose, all the lines loose, wire harness loose. I got a jack up under the truck holding the transmission up. Just got pressure on it. So when I pull the motor out, the transmission don't fall out of the bottom of the truck. And so next thing we're going to do is try and get it out. So hopefully this works, because I'm gonna have to pull it loose from the transmission, and then I'm gonna have to I guess lower the truck and the jack at the same time until we get the engine out of there. It's gonna be unbelievable, but I'm willing to try. That motor is glued together solid. So I'm gonna have to get out of there and pry it free, because it's sitting tight on those dowel pins. So let me go up under there. Oh, there we go. Came loose then. So she split from the transmission. I need to jack up a little bit. Still got the engine mounts. The engine mounts is hung up pretty good on that side. We go on the other side. We'll get the guy set up a little closer, because it's a Jippy. Like the engine is loose. The engine is what's in the way. This is not going to be fun to get back in. There's one engine mount. We got that other engine mount that's hanging us up. It's not fun, tell you that. We can get this engine wedged between the frame and the it just will not come out of there. I think we'll have to bring it out with it. It's hung up because of this frame mount here. something. Can't tell what's going on. This one frame mount just won't come out. Alright. Woo! Frame mount number 2. Oh, we're hitting the oil pan's hitting the frame. Okay. Should be coming on out of there pretty soon. That's what I hate about stick shifts. Definitely hung up on something. I think I need to jack up on the transmission a whole lot. What are we hung on? Oh, it's the freaking coolant hoses. Uh-oh, I hear something leaking. I hear it, but I don't see it. And I don't know where it's coming from. I think it's water in the bed. I'm gonna have to take this coolant hose loose because it's kind of got me jacked up in there. There's one coolant pipe here. It's wrapped around the fuel lines. That's what's got me held up, so I'm gonna have to take that loose. But we're almost out of the transmission. One pull clamp off. Slide right on out of there. What we getting? I'm gonna try and come up with it. What we hanging on? Definitely don't want to come out of there though. Can't go up any higher with the transmission. Looks like the whole motor is tilted back. pretty sure we're out of the transmission. It's almost out of the clutch. I think it's rubbing the manifold over here. I hope I don't have to take the manifold off, because I think it's hitting the frame. Yeah, that's what it is. We're actually out of the transmission. There we go. I think it's best if you take the manifold off, because the manifold is hitting the frame mount. I'll show you. Like I said, if it was an automatic, it would have been out. Doing the stick shift. You can see right there where the manifold is right against that frame mount. So it's best if you take the exhaust manifold off. If your new engine don't have one on it, you're gonna have to take it off anyway. So when we go back in, we won't have the manifold on. It's easier to go in that way. Kind of an awkward motor. Plus the fuel lines is catching the side of the engine. Kind of a two-person job. Boy, whoever put the wire harness on there screwed up. They put the wire harness around the backside of the dipstick. And more than likely, I'm going to have to take the oil dipstick out, because they put the harness on the backside of it, and I can't get the engine out due to that. As you can see, the harness is going behind the dipstick right here. So I'm gonna have to pull the dipstick out of there. They should have went on the front of it. I don't know why they went through the backside. I don't know if that's how it was, and they thought they were putting it back right. But it's definitely wrong. And all this is plugged in. That goes back to the transmission, I believe. Oh, I see another problem we got too. That water line is up against the transmission. I'm gonna have to let the transmission down a little bit. Where's that harness going? The harness is going all the way to the back. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this dipstick loose. Let's get a 10. Something else plugged up. Is that another ground wire? What is that? Got another ground wire on there too. Man. So there's actually 3 ground wires on this side of the block. Say all the wires on this side is all jumbled up, so you can't really see what you're working with. Now we gotta get that out. What ratchet? Where is it? Hopefully I can clear the oil filter and the radiator. I didn't pull the radiator out like I should have did, but I think I can push it back. This little motor is not easy to get out, especially doing it by yourself, and then it's a stick shift. Almost make you want to pull the motor and transmission. Let's put the whole up back in. Ooh, I'm almost out of sealant space. Oh man, just don't get any better than that. This one will hold me up at first. This pipe right here. Put that back on there. And I'm gonna have to let the truck down. Have to let the truck down a little bit so I can pull out. I should have had the boom in further, but we can deal with it. Let it down just a little bit. I salute you, because if it was automatic, it'd be super easy. But then, if it's a stick, it's a little complicated. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go down a lot. A whole lot. A super whole lot. So that oil pan is clear. Guess I just have to ease the jack down a little bit. Then ease the truck down a little bit. can come on out of there. Tall oil pan. Still gotta come down some more. What a way to spend the end of the year. An engine job like this. Still not clear. Wheel down. I say a few more inches, we ought to be good to go. Oh, it's on the ground. Can I skim over? Nope, I still gotta come down. Note to self next time. I'm gonna have to bring that boom in some. So can I go down some more? Hell, the truck is on the ground. It's about to come out. Let's go a little bit lower. Usually I pull engines the other way. Oh, I'm gonna touch the forward side. Have to let it down just a little bit more. I actually think the truck is on the ground. Almost. I think we got it now. What you think? Man, I mean a smidget. Let's see. This one's all the way down. I think we're good. against the roof. I would have took the radiator out. Okay. Finally. So it's out. Finally, it is out. After all that. There's a clutch. I don't see anything broken or damaged. This right here is where the pipes connect together. Goes on the other side of the bell housing. So, got all these hoses going through these tubes. So, engine is out. She is out, finally. So I know when I get ready to go back in, I'm gonna go ahead and just remove the manifold. I'm gonna have it off so it won't be hitting the frame. And it's gonna be a booger bear going back in, but it is out of there, so. There's our clutch. I mean our throw out. It's got the hydraulic throw out on it. And this over here is just a combobulation of stuff when you're trying to get the engine out. But we managed to get it out without breaking nothing. So anyway, that's gonna be it for tonight. And I hope this helps you out getting it out of there if you're taking the 4-cylinder out. I've been seeing a lot of guys on YouTube, they're doing an LS swap on these trucks. And they're just taking the 4-cylinder out, putting the LS motor in. But in this case, we're not doing that. We're swapping 4 for 4. So if you're doing a 4-cylinder Colorado, that's basically what it's gonna take. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, especially if it's a stick shift. If it's automatic, it'd be way a lot easier. But I'm gonna sign off right here, and we'll get everything swapped over that we can. Probably don't need to swap over much, and we'll get the engine ready to go back in. All right, y'all be safe. All right, so we're gonna tear apart this old motor. I'm just dying to take the head off of it, and let's see what really happened. If it's a bad valve seat or a bad cylinder. So I'm gonna take the head off of it. That's gonna include taking the timing chain off. I'm gonna already take the exhaust manifold off. I'm gonna pull the intake and stuff like that. So we're gonna get ready to rock and roll. So we got the valve cover off. Looks really clean down in here. Really clean. Like I said, this engine had 28,000 miles on it. So now we just got to get the stuff off the front. That is going to be the water pump and timing cover and tensioner, balancer. And then what we're going to do is try and get it in time, get it top dead center so we can safely pull the chain off. I don't really want to bend the valves or turn it over, even though the engine is pretty much in bad shape. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull all this stuff off, and then we'll try and get that timing top dead center. I'll show you how to get it top dead center. So I had to wait on the air compressor to build up. All these bolts on the timing cover are just 10 millimeters. There's like 3 down here at the bottom. up towards the oil pan. So I just went ahead and just removed those while I was waiting on the air compressor to build up and get a bigger impact. Bigger is better. So usually these slide right off of there with no prying necessary. But you might have to kind of scoot it off of there. It don't have the hose for the, you know, some of them have hose where you can put a puller on there. We don't get it off this way, we'll have to use a 3-jaw. Usually they just pop right off. I don't think this one's gonna make the cut. So we're probably gonna have to get a 3-jaw puller and put on there. Let me see what I got. I have this one for a Chrysler, which it will work perfect on here. So we need to stick something off in there. Maybe we can stick that all the way back in the crank. Maybe that won't be long. Let's see. It might work right there. So I stuck that extension off in there. Let's see. Size that is, I think that's a 15-16. We'll get a wrench to hold that. I think both of them are 15-16s. So. Trying to zoom in on that action. Oh, reaching for the wrong thing. It's gonna be a job. Oh, she don't want to come off. It ain't budging. Actually, there's something wrong with my puller stripped. Well, that ain't good. Well, I guess we'll have to use the hammer. Maybe we can tap it off a little bit. Come up with some kind of puller. She ain't budging. Well, let me come up with some kind of puller to get that off with. So what I ended up doing is taking that bolt all the way out for the puller and ran a thread tap around it, straighten the threads up. It was kind of stiff, and I got that zip tie just holding the little fingers together. So hopefully I can hit it with the big impact. Came off halfway. Little fingers keep popping loose. Might come on off of there now. It's off halfway. If not, I'm gonna have to put something longer down inside the crank. Probably not. Guess we can stick that in there. But I'll have to wind this back. It's almost off. Might be too long. Let's see. I'd stick a bolt off in there. Unless that pushes against that socket. It's just so hard to hold it and turn it in at the same time due to little fingers keep jumping off. I don't want to get my hand off in there. Really should have a glove on. Man. I have to get something in there. See if I found a shorter socket. Stick it. Safety first. Might be long enough, deep enough. Almost off. And try this. I wish that bolt would loosen up. I don't know why it's so stiff. Man. Just won't catch. Coming. It's almost off. I'll wind this back again. Let's go put it in the vise. Probably use the smaller ratchet, impact gun now because it's almost off. Oh, come on off here. That burger didn't want to come off. They come right off of there. Now it's been on there. Alright, so now we got the crankshaft pulley off. And we got to pull the whole timing cover off. Then we can rotate it and get it top dead center. So hopefully timing cover just, well, we got 2 more screws. When do we have to pull the water pump off? Maybe those screws go all the way through the block. I ain't sure. At least the water pump don't run with the timing chain, because that would suck. You can easily change these. So it's got that old good sealing on it. Hopefully we won't have to drop the oil pan. I don't think we'll have to. Should come right on off there. Do a little. Oh, we'll call you back. Ah, come on off. Use some good sealing on these things. Some good sealing. Something is definitely holding the bottom. Like it's dead in the middle almost. I think it's basically pressing against the oil pan. That's what it's doing. Oh, the screws out. I don't know why. Do that sealant. Might have to lower the oil pan a little bit. I don't know why. It's not my progress on this. There it goes. Here it comes. Is that part of the oil pump or something? Any minute. Next to the it's got it at the bottom. Unreal. Good sealing on it. Off the dowel pins, I think it's the oil pump is inside of this timing cover, and it's just sitting up on the gear. The reason why it won't come off. So I recommend you probably have to lower the oil pan a little bit. You might can get it off. It's trying. It's definitely got it hung up. Can't see back up in there. It's definitely the oil pump. Hopefully you don't have to drop the oil pan, because it won't come off. Something's definitely got it. It might be the pickup coming off of the this is the oil pump, so I bet you the pickup is on the other side. So that would mean we'll have to drop this oil pan, because the pickup tube is coming out the bottom of the oil pump, which is in this cover. So let me get things ready for that, and we will drop that oil pan. See what's going on with that. Alright, so I got all the oil pan bolts out. They're just half inch bolts, well, 1/2 inch socket full. And there's two 10 millimeters at the back. So oil pan should be ready to come off. Man, that sealant they put on here, it don't budge. It is on there good. You almost gotta have a jackhammer. There it goes. Now, luckily I drained the oil out of it. I don't see any metal shavings in the oil pan. And I do see the pickup tube. The pickup tube has got to come off before you can pull that timing cover off. So you'll have to pull the oil pan in order to get that timing cover off. So it's two 10 millimeter bolts that hold the oil pickup. To the block. So now the timing cover should just slide right off. Like so. Actually, there's your bolt. You can actually just take this tin loose. But either way, you still gotta drop the oil pan, because it won't let you slide forward, so you can take the pickup off. And there's the oil pump. Oil pump in the cover. So now we got the timing chain. Set this somewhere so it won't be just leaking all over the place. So the timing chain should have color marks on it. Matter of fact, I see one right here. There's one there and one there. And according to what I just looked up on the internet, those marks have got to be pointing straight up in order for them to work. So basically we just need to put the crankshaft. Well, first I gotta get that socket out of there. Look like it's almost at top dead center. Get that out of there. And we can put the crankshaft bolt back in. So now what we got to do is we got to get these timing marks lined up where it's safe enough to pull the cams or pull the chain off anyway. So it's got like this little purple dot here on the crankshaft, and one of these links has a different color link with purple marks in them. These two don't. I don't know what that is. So actually it's got a whole bunch of color marks. So what we're going to do is just rotate it around until we get the marks. Now up here on the camshaft, I see a line here with purple mark and another dot. So I guess we have to just keep rotating this around. Until everything lines up. I would think the way they got it marked, the links with the purple lines on them will line up on the camshaft. Now I'm starting to see there's a color mark there, a color link, and down here we got a color link lined up, but I don't know if that's top dead center or not. As you can see, I guess we can stick a screwdriver in there and see if that's top dead center. Because we're lined up on the mark on the crank and up here. Now for some reason they have it a color link with a purple line in it. So I'm thinking those purple lines are supposed to line up. Now the piston's up. But what I'm going to do is basically rotate it around, because I'm thinking when they had it in time they took a purple marker and marked the cam and the chain link at the same time. But we'll find out when we get around there. A lot of turning. One more time. It was at top dead center, but I'm curious to see well, they already marked the links. Because the chain has a bunch of different color links on it. Should be coming around there. So you can see right here, that's purple, and that's the purple marker line on that link. So I'm wondering, did they do that for a reason? Looked like they might have took a marker and just went straight down. But we'll rotate it around there. Can we get it to line up? Should be on that mark. Hopefully it ain't going away from the mark. Should be one link away, look like. Maybe we did have it at top dead center. go one more revolution with it. I'm just curious about how they bought that chain. My arms are starting to feel like jello. So after rotating it about 15,000 times, as you can see, those lines, they do line up. So it just looks like they took a magic marker or purple grease pen and just swiped right through the chain link on both sides. And then also, down here on the crank, you can see where the line goes with the dot. So that should be top dead center. I don't know why they got these extra color links. There's a bunch of different color links. I don't know why when it only just needs to be 3. But if you look over here on the interwebs, you only see 3 color links. One's on the crank and 2 up on the cams. So that would throw you way off. I guess that's because that's the factory chain. So we'll stick a screwdriver in there and we will make sure that that's top dead center, which it should be. Pistons up. So now we can go ahead and remove the timing chain safely. You take this tensioner pressure's off of it. So maybe because this is the factory timing chain, you got those marks. Battery getting weak. Real clean in here. I mean, this engine is still practically new. So it actually got this lock here. I believe what you do is you can lock this tensioner and push back on it. Let's see, can we get it to lock? Tensioner is supposed to lock. Let's do that before we take it off. I think I can get it to lock. We'll take it off there and then we'll play with it. I think it only locks if you take it off and then see, it came way out. There's the tensioner. So it's supposed to be able to lock this thing. Yeah, you flip the little chain link all the way back, push in, then let it loose. It's supposed to stay locked. I guess it's only good enough for you to get it in there. But it's locked now. Or if I let it go, it flips back out. So I'm guessing what you do is you just have to hold it like that until you get it in. I haven't looked up how you lock it. I'm just assuming. So anyway, that's all. So now we need to get the chain off of there. Which we got to remove those guides. These timing chain guides. Both my gun got not used to it. There's one there. And this one here. You got to remove these caps to get to the other guides. So I'm pretty sure there's a way you have to lock these cams. They might not move. I'm not sure. Basically just tearing it down just to see what's wrong with it. That's your cam sensor. So let's see, can we get these caps out so we can get the chain tensioners out. That's going to be Allen wrench action. Now if you're doing a timing chain on one of these, you might want to look the directions up. I'm just kind of winging it because I've just taken it apart just to see what happened to the engine. So we got two 10mm bolts. Take that one loose, but it didn't take the other one loose. That's one guide there. So the other one we gotta get loose. Man, this sucker's tight. Hope it ain't stripped. That ain't good. Let me slide this out of there. Nope. Well, we can definitely take the chain loose. Can't get the chain off, can we? Somehow. I'm gonna get the chain off here. We got tension on this side, it's probably from the cams. So let me see, can I get that other tension off? Really what's making that slip off of there is that oil. That bolt is stripped. That one. A good socket to get on here. Alright. That's on the tension side of the chain. I know those cams are probably going to turn once I take this chain off. If I can get this tensioner out of here. Got that one on. Actually, it didn't turn it off. Still got some tension between them though. So we gotta take this upper guide off. Then we probably see some spring action. There's two 10mm bolts behind there. No movement. So it's probably where you have to lock these cams. I think there's a special tool that you got to buy, and I'll show you because I'm looking at it now. Right on the back of the cams. There's some flat spots right on the back. See these flat spots here? And then the rest of the cam is kind of oval shape, or round shape. There's probably a tool that goes on the end of this. I'm gonna look it up, and if I do find it, I will put it in the video as a picture, but something's gotta go here to hold these cams from turning when you take that chain off, because you can see it's still tight up there. And what's going to happen is when I go and take that chain loose, them cams are probably going to turn one way or another. So we ain't gonna worry about locking the cams because we're taking this engine apart anyway. So we don't want to smack no pistons. So what I might do is probably even though this engine ain't gonna be built anyway, I guess you can probably use some vice grips or something to hold the cam. Got 2 pairs of vice grips. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna basically just try and turn one cam to get the tension. Just barely turn it. Now that it eased back. Now the other cam didn't turn, but that one did. So if I didn't have no vice grip there, that cam would have flipped around. So you gotta have something to lock those cams. You can use vice grips if you want to. Chains off. So next, pull the head off. It's got some big Allen bolts, and we need to get the sequence on pulling the head off. I guess I'll just leave those vice grips on there because you don't have to pull the cams out. So we'll get us some Allen socket. Because all those bolts take Allen sockets. They know how to get you, don't they? So I'm going to have to find out the diagram on pulling the head off. So I got the torque sequence and loosening sequence pulled up. That'll be bolt number 1, small 10mm. And bolt number 2. Well, I'll take that back. That was bolt 11. Oops. Number 1 is actually. Let's see. Number 1 is right here. Oh well. Oh God. Ooh. That is not happy camper there. We're going to have to use us some impact action. Everything on this thing is super tight. That's not going to work. So we'll get the old impact socket out. Thought I could manhandle that. Yeah, nope. We ain't man nothing. That's 2. to go with the big boy. Those are tight. So let me get the drop down socket for that. Alright, finally got all the head bolts out. Well, I got them loose, I ain't got them out. So plan on releasing that vice grip after I get the head off of it. Whole box of bolts. Alright, let's get the head off this thing, finally. Like everything else is super glued. I'm trying to pick it up with this chain. It's aluminum, but it's still got some weight on it. Alright. Head gasket. Now number 4 was the one that's wasn't doing like it was supposed to do. No compression. So I guess what I'm gonna do is check the block first. We'll rotate it, see what the cylinder walls look like. That piston looks real funny. Got a lot of carbon buildup on it. I don't see any scars or anything. Crosshatch looks good. Looks pretty decent. So the problem's got to be in the head. I mean, I don't see any scars. I mean, that don't mean that the cylinder's not egg-shaped though, but I guess we need to flip the head over because the rest of the cylinders look pretty decent. Let's see what this one looks like. Well, let's see if we got any piston play. Got some play in it though. This one over here is pretty much tight. So I'm wondering, is it a ring problem? I can see that? See how much movement it is in that piston? I mean, it's like it don't even have any rings on it. There's a lot, look at that. It's a lot of movement. So I'm wondering Are the rings completely sucked in or something, or it's got a lot of movement in it. I'm trying to hold the engine still. And if you look at, let's rotate number 3. That's got a lot of play in it too. Well, that one's got play in it too. Well, they all got play in them like that, but it's got a lot of movement though, like the cylinder's egg shape. But the rest of them look pretty smooth. I guess the only real way to be able to tell is to put a cylinder mic in there to measure the cylinder, see what the readings is. Let's flip the head over and see what we can find with the head. Might find something. So this would be cylinder 4. So now I'm going to take these vice grips off. Well, I tell you what, I think that lobe might be open. Ooh, there's our problem. There's our problem right there. We got a broke valve. Valve's actually got a hole in it. Burn a hole all the way through the valve. That valve there is just, look at that. That is weird. I've never seen a valve with a hole in it. So that's where our compression was going. Got a bad valve there. This one's got a lot of, I don't know what that is. Some kind of crusty stuff, but that valve is destroyed. It's got a hole all the way through it. And I'm wondering where the rest of it went. Are these things made out of plastic or something? What's up with that? So now we know why the engine didn't have no compression. It's got a bad valve. Probably needs a valve seat job. So, well, I was told to put the new engine in, and that's what we're going to do. We got the new engine sitting over there, and that's what's going in. Which that engine is still good. It just needs a valve. Probably check the seat, make sure it ain't damaged. So that's it. So I just wanted to go ahead and add that in the video on the tear down and inspection of this little 2.8. And of course we found out what's wrong with it. And so y'all have a good Christmas holiday. Y'all be safe. And y'all just stay social distance. Don't leave your house unless you got to. Enjoy time with the family you got at the house. Kick back, watch some YouTube videos. I got a bunch of them, so you can just check out all of my videos over the holiday time. Sit back, relax with your eggnog or alcoholic beverages. And that's it. So, see ya.